Good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 1129. It is Friday, right? It is Friday. I hope it is Friday. Oh, whew. For a second, I'm like, is it? Is it Friday? Is it Friday? I've actually been kind of on top of things this week, which is good. It's also kind of made my brain mush a little bit as I juggle. So tomorrow I'll be down in St. Charles, Illinois. Where's my, there we go. Kane County Fairgrounds. This is always a great show. If you're within a couple hour drive, even 3 hours, it's worth the trip. It's a great show. 180. They might even squeeze in a few more. 185 tables this weekend. Tomorrow, Kane County Fairgrounds, St. Charles, Illinois. I'll have my usual setup at the show. If you've been there before, I say it's the back. It's not really the back wall because you kind of come in on the side. You come in from the side. So as you walk in the front doors. You pay. It is $2 admission, by the way. You pay, and then you hang right into the big room. So I'll be in the middle, all the way to the left. It's against a wall, but it's to the left. So it would be to your left as you walk in. I'll have about 100,000 cards. 100,000. It's like 34-row boxes, but I've got some 5-row boxes too. Mostly quarter cards, but I sat down. It takes a long time to first sort and then top load dollar cards. Like, I feel like I spent all day doing dollar cards and I filled like one row of a box. So I did some of that yesterday, and I hope to do more because I've got a lot of dollar cards. It's like, man, if I can get a bunch of dollar cards, because I'm kind of swimming in inventory right now, so which is a good thing. And I also need to move it, right? So I'm hoping to move some stuff tomorrow. I'll have of my 100,000-ish singles, about 25,000 new baseball cards for my quarter boxes, and I did fill a 4-row of football, so there'll be at least one new football box. And there's some good stuff. Like, I just like piss on it. I'm throwing this stuff in, so there's some good stuff. I made a sign. I've discovered, and I actually discovered Walgreens printing a while ago, and the Walgreens is like, it's actually exactly 1 mile from my driveway to the parking lot at Walgreens. Exactly 1 mile. I could walk there, but I'm not going to walk. So I've discovered Walgreens photo printing for like my 8x10s that I get, that I take photos out at spring training. I'll print them up at Walgreens, get them signed later on. But then I realized I would have my wife design, because she's much better at design stuff than I am. And she did some of my posters for the Madison Card Show. And we would print them from like either Vistaprint or Canva, straight from Canva. And so I don't want to like rely on like some stuff like this. I don't need help. So it's like I can whip something up real quick. And this is something I've talked about. How long have I been doing shows? How long have I had an eBay store? I've had an eBay store longer than I've been doing show. Well, not really. Well, kind of go hand in hand. But since I've started doing shows regularly, obviously I've had an eBay store, and I haven't been promoting my eBay store at shows. What am I doing? Like, it's one of my main, like, that's my day to day is selling and shipping and selling on eBay. Why am I not promoting it at shows? I'm an idiot. That's what I am. So I promote the Madison Card Show. I have business cards. I promote this Hobby Evolution show with business cards at shows, but which makes me like $8 a day. But eBay, I'm not promoting. What am I doing? So finally, I think I was just frozen. Like I was paralyzed with like, how? Like I don't want to do just a business card, although I think it probably would be wise to do a business card for my eBay store. And I do have to put and there's 5% cash back through my credit card, which we talked about the other day. Take advantage of those perks on your credit cards. So Vistaprint has a 5% cash back, which I've got to put an order in for business cards for the Madison Card Show with the updated schedule. And maybe I'll do something. I'll whip something up for my eBay store as well. So I made a poster. So I discovered before the last Madison Card Show, I'm like, I need to create like a sign, like a poster with like the updated, like with my sponsors, but also like, hey, there's 3 ballrooms. Da 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 da. So I'm like, I wonder if Walgreens Printing has poster printing. So I looked and damn if they didn't. So I printed a poster and it's like for a 24 by 36. It's like $25. Well, it's like 30 some, but there's usually a coupon. So fortunately, I've had coupons the last 2. So it's been around $25. So it's like, you don't want to print too many of them. So I printed last month I printed one and realized I put the next show, because I always want to do, hey, don't forget the next show. Maybe I should just do like a post-it next show, or print like a piece of paper next show instead of printing it on the poster. So, but it's in a space, because I was checking it out yesterday. It's in a space where I think I can just like fold it behind and like tape it behind and still use that. Like, and I won't use that up in the front lobby. I'll use it maybe in one of the ballrooms just so people see it. So I printed that for the Madison Card Show last month, and then I wanted something for tomorrow. It's a coupon, Dan. It's a coupon. So I did print. I whipped something up on eBay. I wonder if I can log into my Canva. If I can remember you know how I am with passwords. Let's see. Log in. Log in. Let's see if I can remember. Nope, that's not it either. That's not it. Okay, we're going to try one more. Hey, that's the ticket. All right, so we're going to save. Okay, let's go to my projects. And so here's what I printed up. And again, remember, I suck at designing things. That's why my wife does stuff. She's much more graphic designer-ish than I am. So here's what I whipped up, printed the poster out. And I've got one of those like corrugated cardboard plastic things that you can affix the posters to. So I've got clips. So the poster clips on to a back, so then I can put it in my poster stand. So that'll be behind my table tomorrow at the card show and future card shows that I set up at. More than 100,000 singles in my eBay store, 99centcards.com. Buy 7 or more cards in my eBay store and save 25% off at checkout. So, like, to me, that looks good. But I want to ask you, what could I do? Is there anything I could do different? Does that look good? Is there anything you would suggest? I was thinking maybe doing like a QR code. That way people don't have to just go. They can just take a picture of the QR code and, oh, hey, I'm here. So that's something I was thinking about. And I thought about that before I made it. And then I'm like, so I don't know. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Anything different? Different colors? Different font? Different photo? I just did something real quick. So Dan says the colors remind him of a true crime show. So that is a good point. The reason I chose red and black is because that's the colors for the Madison Card Show. And the reason red and black are the colors for the Madison Card Show is because, well, Wisconsin Badgers, red. So that's why I chose red and black. Yes, it does kind of look like promoting a true crime book or podcast. It does. So maybe I could differentiate from the Madison Card Show color scheme and do a different color setup. Maybe blue. Blue might look better. So yeah, now that you mentioned that, now I can't not see it. So that's the sign. Dan says try turning the black to white and the white text to black. The black. I don't like white backgrounds. I'll play around with it. So that's the sign that you'll see tomorrow at the Kane County Fairgrounds, St. Charles, Illinois. So getting ready for that a little bit more today. What else is going on? I ran some errands yesterday. I haven't had a good errand run in a while. And this is the time you can see some of the errands that I had to run behind me in the Walmart bag. So I had to go to the bank. And I realized as I was walking into the bank, since I've been doing card shows regularly, I have not used, because I was thinking, because I remember I'm like, I haven't used the ATM here in a while, because it used to be the ATM I always used. And then somebody stole it. Like literally, somebody like hooked the chain and stole the ATM. And I think they never replaced it. But then I got to thinking, when was the last time I used an ATM? Like, I'm sure I've used it. And I'm like, have I used an ATM since like my card shows? Which is good. And we talked about this yesterday or whenever we talked about it, because I have cash, but I don't like to use cash. I use cash for tips. If I'm at like a bar or, sometimes I'll have cash, but usually I like using a card because with everything, I like it because it's traceable. So when I'm doing all my stuff for taxes, like I don't have to create my own receipts and be like, and dive through them. Like I can just print my credit card statements out and it's like, here you go. Here's what I bought. Now I need the receipts okay, this is what this was for and all that. But at least, with cash. And I know it's difficult for like inventory when I, do cash deals. The last couple of weeks, I've had to create my own receipts. So I have that. Like, here's what I bought because they were cash deals. So got to make sure that's accounted for. So I was running my errands. I had to go to the bank. And then I went to, where'd I go from there? And then I went to post office. And then I went to Walmart. No hockey at Walmart. They did have last year's Series 1 on clearance for like $15 for a blaster. I'm like, that's a pretty good price. But I didn't buy, I'm not going to buy Top Series 1 from last year. Although I'm still moving 2024 Top Series 1. Like I wouldn't suggest going out and buying a bunch of boxes and expecting to make a lot of money on Top Series 1 now. But it's still like, I'm like, every time I see it, like, oh, hey, more sales, add it to the count. But no hockey Series 2 in the Walmart. So behind me, that is those are my fun size deodorant. What else is in there? Hand sanitizer. What else is in there? Deodorant, hand sanitizer, toothpaste, maybe Q-tips. I don't know. So I got that. Got some envelopes. And that's what I did. And then Walgreens to pick up my poster. And those were my errands for the day. And last night, I unfortunately did tune into some of the State of the Union address. We won't talk about that. But we are in the midst of tournament time for college basketball. Conference tournaments are in full swing. The OVC, where my Western Illinois Leathernecks now reside, are in Evansville, Indiana. And they had a bye into the quarterfinals. So they matched up with Tennessee State. Tennessee State was the number 5 seed. They knocked off Southern Indiana, who was the 8 seed. And that was a matchup looking on paper. I'm like, I do not like this matchup. Tennessee State was not a good matchup for Western this season. Tennessee State had their number. I was looking ahead. It's like, if Western can get past Tennessee State, I'm more confident against number 1 seed Little Rock than I am against number 5 Tennessee State based on matchups. It was a great game. Now, there were 3 technicals called in the first half. The referees in last night's game had quick whistles. They were super soft technicals. I'm not one to like bitch about refs because I know it's a tough job, and most officials are not out to get one team or another, although sometimes it does seem that way. But man, they had quick whistles. And I mean, to the credit, if you're going to be bad, just be consistent with both teams. Like, if you're going to suck both ways. That's what she said. So there were 3 technicals called. One was on the Leathernecks, and they were yapping. They were all verbal technicals. All 3 were verbal. Like, players just pissed off, and referees were like, "Oh, you're a technical foul." Come on, grow some balls, officials. But then that was it, and then like it was clean the rest of the way. Like, first 10 minutes, 3 technicals, and then not a technical was called the rest of the way. Great game down the stretch. Western had like an 8, and like, I'm like, is there a fix? Like, are the announcers in on this fix? And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but it's like there were just things that were said by the announcers that it's almost like, do they know something that we don't, who are viewing? Because Western had an 8-point lead in the second half, like midway through the second half. And it's a super low. It was 30-30 at halftime. And so Western it was 42. I remember the point. It was 42-34 with like 10 minutes to play. Maybe even less than that. I wonder if I can find the play-by-play. Because the more I think about it, the more I'm like, this, like, what were the announcers? And I mean, it's probably one of those, when you're announcing, you just kind of sometimes just talk. So, can I get this play-by-play? So I'm in the stats, plays. Okay, so first half, second half. Oh, damn it. It doesn't say the score with it. I'd have to go to like but the final score was 61-59. So it's a very low scoring game. Not super low scoring, but it's lower scoring. So it's 42-34 in the second half. And I think there's like 8 to 10 minutes to play. And 8 points in a 42-34 game is a lot. It's not like this isn't the NBA. It's not like 120 points are going to be scored by each team. 60 points are going to be scored. So 8 points is significant. And one of the announcers looked at the coach for Tennessee State, or was talking about the coach. He was on the screen, and like I think Penny Collins, I think is his name. And they're like, well, we'll have to ask him after the game. And then he's like, well, if we talk to him after the game. And I'm like, wait, what? Because the winning coach does a post-game interview on the broadcast. And I'm like, wait, what? They're down by 8 points with like 8 minutes to go in a low-scoring game, and you're talking about we're going to talk to him after the game. And then something else was said around that same time. about Tennessee State advance. I'm like, wait, what? Like they thought it was a foregone conclusion that Tennessee State was going to win this game. And then all of a sudden, Tennessee State goes on like a 10-0 run. Like at that point, from 42 to 34, Western was up 42-34. The announcers are like, yep, we're going to talk to Petty Collins after the game. Well, if they end up winning this game, it's like they're down by 8 in a low-scoring game with 8 minutes to play. And then they rattle off like a 10-0 run. And it's like, what do you know? What is going on? Did they clue? Did they get the script? Back and forth, back and forth. Western, I believe, committed the most turnovers they have in any game this year. They shot 50% from the free throw line, which is average for them. They suck at free throws, and they know it, which is not good in a 2-point game. I think they were 16 for 32 at the free throw line. That ain't going to win you games, but it did last night. They won. They hit a nice runner with about 3 seconds, 3 seconds left. And I'm like, and I was usually, because they've been heartbroken on last second shots a couple times this year, once at home. That was against South Dakota. And then a conference game against, it might have been Tennessee State, beat them. But for whatever reason, I was confident, even though the script said differently. I'm like, I'm confident that they can get a stop and Western's going to advance. Play the top seed tonight, Little Rock. And Tennessee State inbounded, and they actually did get up. I mean, they had to shoot like just in front of the half court line. They got a good shot off, and it hit the rim. But it missed. And so the Leathernecks survive and advance. My thought process the entire season, well, not the entire season, because the first couple games they were a lost cause. Like, this team is terrible. But they really, I love their new head coach. I've never met him, but I just love his coaching style, his attitude, and the way he's turned the ship early. And so as they started competing, I'm like, and then they started playing conference games. I'm like, they're probably going to finish 4th, which is exactly where they went, 4th place, 4 seed in the tournament. But I think they can win the tournament. I think they can win the conference tournament, the OVC, and advance to the NCAA tournament for the first time in program history, which sucks because I would love to go and be there. I did play-by-play for the first ever Division I postseason game that the Leathernecks played, and the second. We were invited to I think it was my first year. We were invited to the CBI, the College Basketball Invitational, and that was actually coincided with my first trip to spring training, which was canceled because I was in Oregon, beautiful Corvallis, Oregon, for Leathernecks Beavers. And it wasn't even a fun trip because we didn't even have time to like check out Oregon. It was like, we're going to fly, and it was a shitty travel situation. Late nights, early mornings, missed flights, long bus rides from Seattle to wherever we Salem, I think is where we stayed. And then the next year was easy. The next year we played at Purdue, which was cool. Like, you play in Mackey Arena, that's cool. But I like traveling. Like, we got a bus ride to Lafayette, Indiana, which I'm complaining about the flight to Oregon. But at least I got to see Oregon. So a fun game. They play Little Rock, the number 1 seed tonight. I think they can pull it off. What's let's see the spread. We'll stop talking about Leatherneck basketball. It's the free for all today. So, hey, we can talk about whatever we want, just like any other day, right? Leagues, we want to go to scores. Okay. Today, 7 p.m. Little Rock is a 4.5-point favorite. I'd put your money on the Leathernecks. Plus 4.5. Take them outright. But don't blame me if you lose. So tonight, Little Rock versus Western Illinois, OVC semifinals of the conference tournament. So, all right, let's go to the chat. We're going to play Name That Player today. I did, by the way. What's up, Dan? I did this morning gather up cards for Name That Player, and it's going to be a fun one. I tried to not make it too easy, and I wanted to a little diversity. So we've got football, we've got music, we've got something else. We've got NASCAR, baseball, football, wrestling, basketball, baseball. So I'll mix it up. So we'll have some fun today. Name That Player. David's in the house. Good morning. Todd is here. What's happening? He's at the cubicle. That doesn't sound fun. Dan says Friday night, got to stay up until 11:30 to wait for stock market to open. Ooh, what are you buying? T206 kid, good morning. Spring forward. That's right. We gain an hour. So I have a group chat of all the Club 400 people that we're all going to spring training at the same time next week. In fact, one of the I think two out of the group actually, I think one landed this morning and one just took off this morning. And then we kind of sprinkle in throughout the next few days. So anyway, in our group chat, we were talking about spring forward. And I made the comment because we're all like, okay, and to throw a wrench in this whole situation, Arizona does not recognize daylight savings, which adds like another level of difficulty to this whole time change. Like, fuck, what time is it? I'm always dropping F-bombs around daylight savings time. And it's like, okay, Arizona's an hour behind us now, but we spring forward on Sunday, but Arizona doesn't recognize it. Oh my God, I've got to math this out. And it's like, we're all like in the group, we're all 40 to 60. And you would think we would figure this out by now, but no. And that's why they need to end daylight savings. Just, okay, make it a law. No more daylight savings. Let's just one time, all the time. Dan, what's going on? He says, do you take 90 to Randall Road? I certainly do. Because it's right. It's the Kane County Fairgrounds are right on Randall Road. So it's about, 12 miles from 90. So it's super easy. Like I hop in Madison, I hop on the Beltline, jump on the interstate, 39 to 90, Randall Road, Kane County Fairgrounds right there. Super easy. Although Randall Road is the most annoying mother effing road because there's a freaking stoplight every 3 seconds. That's the downside to Randall Road. Philly Joe, good morning. Steel Cards, what's happening? Good morning. Mark Marinello's in the house. Baseball season is within sight. Yes, sirree. Kyle, good morning. Spam Likely, good morning. Tea Timer's in the house. Top of the morning to you. Godlike Collectibles, good morning. Jeremy's in the house. And add it to your card show flyer too. There you go. That's a good point. I'll sponsor my own. Yeah, why not? Dan's trying to correct me on my correct pronunciation of coupon. It's not a coupon. Some people call it a coupon. It's not a coupon. It's a coupon. Q. There's a Q in there. The COU makes it a Q. Orlando, what's up? Good morning. JM Sports Cards, good morning. He's in Atlanta, Georgia. Brian's in the house, getting ready for family Disney weekend. Oh, that sounds awful. That sounds terrible. Victor's in the house. Good morning. Brian says the CDP app working again. Good deal. How long was it down yesterday? Because I wasn't, I had a batch ready, but I'm like, I don't want to deal with, because if I try to log in and I can't, I'm going to be ticked off. So I'm just going to avoid it today, which was yesterday. But I did log in this morning and I was able to log in. Everything worked. Brian says, looks angry with all the black and dark pick with shadows. Looks angry. Well, I have to brighten it up. And the photo I used was it was just kind of on a whim, like, we'll redo it. Brian says, horror movie we would all go see. Want to organize cards and end up cut into custom cards. Humans 101. Kyle says, red is the color of passion. Great for marketing. Look at all the iconic brands that use red. Coca-Cola. That's a good point. Coca-Cola, Budweiser. It's a really good point. Jeremy says, white background stands out with black letters. Red light says, hit the like button. Thank you. He also says the State of the Union was a joke. J&M says, Series 1 has been profitable for me. Flagship always does well. Yes, it does. I don't understand people saying, oh, you can't make any money on Flagship on Series 1. Oh, my God. Like, it just keeps rolling in every day. More and more sales. I made sales this morning. Yeah, they're coming in $1.50, $1.75 at a time, but it all adds up. So I think I actually sold, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 this morning, or in the overnight hours. So that's good. Flawed Thinkers in the house. Good morning. Max says, of course it was red light. I hope you didn't expect anything different after the last 3. Johnny says, good morning. Used eBay. Send offer to interested buyers suggesting for the first time. Sent to 167 buyers. Sold 12 cards in the first hour. Yeah, and I think the more you do it, people kind of catch on. Because now I can have like 10 and I'll send an offer and I'll get like 5 buy right away. I think a lot of people, and I do, like as a buyer myself, I will watch items in hopes that the seller sends me an offer. And even on stuff that I want, like I would pay full price for this, but I'm going to watch it to see if they send me an offer. I mean, it's huge. And sometimes, commonly, I will send offers out and that item actually sells for full price. Philly Joe says, on your posters, pictures should be of cards, not boxes of cards. Otherwise, thumbs up. That is a good point. Instead of the boxes of cards, show the actual cards. Max says, watching too many crime conspiracy theory docs. It's clouding your sports watching. Happy Friday, Peter. But isn't that, I mean, come on, that's weird. I need to go back. It was weird. Happy Friday, Jamie and Peter in the house. Max to Dan, can't you just open an order in and go to bed? Dave Arnold in the house. Coach Boudreau is even better if you knew him personally. I tweeted this last night. Like, I wish I would have been able to, like, watching his post-game interview, like, he would have been fun to work with. When I was at Western, it was Jim Molinari, who was an awesome guy. But there were times when he was not awesome. And I don't get that sense from Coach Boudreau, from what I've heard, from what I've seen. He just seems like he would be there were times, and I don't mean that Coach Mo was bad at times. I'm just saying sometimes it was like walking on eggshells, and I don't get that sense from Coach Boudreau. James says, Randall Road, stoplight city. It is. It's a pain in the ass, Randall Road. Flawed Thinker says, keep daylight savings. I love my long summer days. What I'm saying is keep daylight. So when the clock turns at daylight savings, keep it, but don't turn it back. Like, just keep. I guess I'm not anti-daylight savings. I'm anti-changing your clocks twice a year. That's what I'm against. Keep it one time. If you like daylight savings, we'll keep it that way. If you like normal time, keep it that way. Just keep it some way. I hate changing my damn clocks. I mean, fortunately, most of our clocks change on their own now. My car's not smart, so my car I have to manually change. What else? There's something else that I have to change. It's like, I got to change. Oh, like the microwave. Hall of Fame card collector Mikey's in the house. Good morning. I'm confused now what I'm receiving from Panini because of the comments on Hobby Evolution posts. Panini said white sparkle pack at a $75 value. I cannot help you there. I saw the comments in the post. I don't know anything about that. So if anybody knows what the sparkle packs are from Panini, what they give you for your redemptions, maybe you can help Mikey out. Max says, agreed, flawed. Logistics are stupid, but it just makes sense. JM says, every day I'm up at 5 out of a single, or I am up at 500 out of a single jumbo case. The base pays for the case easy. Absolutely. Absolutely. Mikey says, Joe Biden made the U.S. look like a complete laughing stock. We need a strong, let's not go there. How does the send offer available work on eBay? I only get 3 at a time, usually per day. I mean, 3 could be depending on how many listings you have. So like right now, well, I just sent mine out this morning. So sometimes I'll have like 100. Sometimes I'll have 200. Sometimes I'll have 10. So it just kind of depends. Good morning, Jody. John Larson's in the house. Dan says, I think you're right, but they can ignore it, not fill it, and I'll come back next day and see it wasn't filled. I like to see the order filled before I go to sleep. So there you go. James says, Panini is dog shit. Probably give you Chronicles draft picks. Well, they told Mikey he was getting a sparkle pack, but somebody or people in the chat said they don't give you they give you a different sparkle pack. I don't know. I guess there's different sparkle packs. I don't know. I don't know anything about Panini redemptions. I've done a few. I'm not sure. So maybe others know. I don't know. Corey says, good morning. Have a great weekend. I don't like changing the clocks either. Hit the like button. Make it happen. Thank you, Corey. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Visit my eBay store. I don't think I put the eBay store link in my description this morning. So that's what I had for today. We'll play Name That Player. So we'll play Name That Player. Jeremy says, I think it's regular sparkle packs for anything under $600 in value, then the white sparkle packs over. So there you go. All right, let's play Name That Player. Max says Cubs should sign Trevor Bauer. I agree. All right, so let's do baseball, football, music, baseball. All right, so I'm just putting them in order. I actually did put cards. I just didn't put them in order. Let's see. Mikey, thanks Jeremy for the. I got 5 sparkles for a Benedict Mathurin Noir redemption. Let's see. What else do we have? Oh, we got to get one of those in. And we'll do baseball, basketball. Okay, I think we're in order. Flawed Thinker says if they stopped daylight savings, then we would be on the winter time scale. Sunrise would be at 4:15 a.m., sunset at 7:30. I have no need to see the sun so early. I think they just need to stop at 1. Like, stop changing the time. We'll keep daylight savings, but we're going to stop standard time. So keep daylight savings, stop standard time. All right, so let's play Name That Player. Let's go to the scoreboard. I think Max has a big lead, but Flipping Sports Guy is right on his heels, 26-21. And then we've got a canyon between Flipping Sports Guy and Joe Trotto, 21-9. Rich and Card Hobbyist have 7. Dan has 6. Matt and Harlan have 4. Porter has 3, along with Huddle Card Collection, Merle, and John Keating. Tom Gibson also has 3 points. I think he's back to work, though. Jordan Brown, Philly Joe, Flawed Thinker, each with 2 points. And 1 point apiece for Mark Marinello, Christian, Brian, Diego, Michael Renicky, SoCal Guy 1967, Neil Cublin, Scotty Dubs, Dak T-Mac fan, Spam Likely even has a point. Dave Arnold has a point. So there you go. All right. So we're going to start it off with a little vintage. Name the player. Name this player. Who is it? Who is it? Ty Cobb is correct. Dan, Korean Cardboard. Nailed it. Ty Cobb. I might put that in my dollar box for tomorrow. Ty Cobb and Dan with the point. Is that 2 for Dan? I think that's 2 for Dan. Dan staying up to put his order in. It pays off. Where is Dan? I way misspoke. Dan has 7 points now. It was way off. So Dan is now tied with Uncle Rich and Card Hobbyist. All right. So now we go to football. Football. It is not Thomas. It is Neil Anderson. Neil Anderson. Skybox Impact. All right. So who got that one first? Where are we at? Scotty Dubs. Back at it. Scotty Dubs, who was one of our previous winners of Name That Player. Back when we did 80s packs. Scotty Dubs has fallen off since we stopped doing packs of 80s. Scotty Dubs. So you move up. You have 2 points. And there we go. Neil Anderson, who was I know people are saying they were first on your screen. You're probably always going to be first on your screen. One thing you can do is instead of using top chat, hit live chat. That should help. But usually you will see yourself first on your own screen. Now we go to music. This is going to be a tough one. So I might have to give a hint. I don't know. Dave Arnold might know this. Dave Arnold is music trivia extraordinaire. So I do know if I give the song, I do know that Dave will get it. Let's see. It's not Clark. It's not Carlisle. It's not O'Connor. It's not Kim Carnes. It's not Sheena Easton. It is Alana Miles. Yes, Porter. I did not even have to give the clue. Black Velvet was her big hit, I believe. Dave, correct me if I'm wrong. Black Velvet. Alana Miles. Porter. Let's see. Do you have a point, Porter? I don't think so. But I thought Dan only had 2 and he had 7. So, oh yeah, you have 3. So you are now tied with Matt and Harlan. 4 points for Porter. See, I was way off. All righty. Where are we at? Next up. Porter's like, 4, motherfucker. Put it down. Porter with 4. Black Velvet, her only hit. One-hit wonder, Alana Miles. All right. Who knows their prospects? Who knows their baseball prospects? Try to get this up close so you can get a A little close. John maybe just keeps typing Clark. I don't think there's a Clark today. So Dan's like, no modern prospects. Wood is correct. Oh, we actually got a couple. Let's see. John maybe redeemed himself. He's like, it's not Clark, but it's Wood. John, yes. James Wood. James Wood. All right. John maybe. Now, do you have a point? All right. I got to go through and, all right. John. That looks like John's first point. I think you've had points in the past, though. John with the point. So I gave it away. I don't think there's going to be any Clarks. Let me double check. No Clarks. John maybe and Jim Wood. All right. Next up. We go to Desert Storm. Desert Storm, 1991. Schwarzkopf is correct, and I will not take off for spelling if you get anywhere close, because I don't think anybody has nobody spelled it correctly. So let's see. Max was the first one and actually got it pretty close. Schwartz. Actually, I think he nailed it. Yeah, he did spell it correctly. Norman Schwarzkopf, and spelled correctly. Max with the point. 27 for Max. All right. Now we go to Bass. This is going to be a tough one. Max is like, give me 2 for that one. All right. This is a tough one. I wanted to get some basketball since we are we are now officially in March Madness. People are saying give him bonus points. Maybe we should. Let's see. I didn't think anybody would get this. Somebody did. Actually, a couple people did. 3 people got this. Holy shit. It is Antonio McDyess. Yes. Alabama Crimson Tide. Antonio McDyess. I think Max was the first one. Let's see. Where are we at? Michael Finley. Good guess. Good guess on Finley, but no. Incorrect. Antonio McDyess. Max with another point. Oh, Shane was right behind. Shane, you've been live a couple days, and I'll see Shane tomorrow in Kane County. Name that player. All right. Antonio McDyess. I'm impressed. Brian, you were not first. Do I have to say this again? Let's see. Max says, I saw the 4 first. Oh, on the jersey number? Let's see. Sports card ripping teacher. Neil, a little late. Susan's in the house, but it's actually just Mikey in disguise. Let's see. All right. Again, it will likely show you first on your screen, but that doesn't mean you were first. If you're not in live chat, hit live chat. You may be on top chat. Okay. Hey, how did Kyle, a conspiracy theory, Kyle knew there was going to be a NASCAR card in here? Or did I give that away earlier? There's a NASCAR card. Here it is. Is Kyle going to get the NASCAR correctly? He might be the only one that knows. I think Max has 1 million NASCAR cards. So I bet Max can get it. All right. Oh, we've got a couple in here that got it. But Kyle was too slow. Ernie Irvin. I think Shane got it first. Let's see. Shane got it first. We're going to give him Ernie. Usually we don't do first names, but I think Ernie is good enough. Ernie Irvin. Shane with the point. Shane, I think that's your first point, right? Yeah, Shane. John and Shane on the board for the first time. All right, next up. Max doesn't know. Max doesn't. He's got that many, but he doesn't know. All right, where's my wrestling fans? Now, wrestling has not done well, but I think that this is a tough one. This is a tough one. Where are my 80s wrestling fans at? This is a tough one. I think somebody's got to get this. Somebody's got to get this. Bam Bam Bigelow was a wrestler, but not this wrestler. Hulk Hogan, also a wrestler, but not this one. Greg Valentine, it is not Greg Valentine. It is not The Undertaker. It is not Rick Rude, nor is it Dino Bravo. All 90s wrestlers, not Red Rooster, not Ric Flair, not John McJohn, not the Honky Tonk Man, not Cody's dad. Okay, maybe this is, oh my God, it's not Anderson. It's not The Rock. It's not Smith. It's not Clark either. It's not Ivan Putski. It's not Shane McMahon. You guys, no wonder people tune out when I talk wrestling. Nobody knows the Hands of Stone. Not Jerry the King Lawler. You guys are, well, with the exception of Brian Bosworth, you guys are, Sal Balomo, there's a name. You guys do know wrestlers. It's not Steiner. It's not Rick or Scott. It's not Mr. Perfect. You've named just about every wrestler in this classic WWF set from 1990. There you go. Flawed Thinker got it. The Hands of Stone, rugged Ronnie Garvin. Wow. That was painful. That was almost as bad as soccer. Okay, so Flawed Thinker. I know you've got some points. Let's see. Where's the Flawed Thinker at? Flawed Thinker. There you go. You're at 3. So you move into a tie with Huddle Card Merle, John, and Tom. All right. There we go. Flawed Thinker. All right. We got a few more. We're doing football next. All right. Dan wants some entertainment. Do I have any entertainment? I don't. Unfortunately, we have one more wrestling card. It is easier than Rugged Ronnie Garvin. All right. But no more entertainment today. We've got football. Love those action-packed. Unicorn Cupcakes, he's trying to get in. He's like, oh, football, Andre Rison. No. It is Anderson. Morton Anderson. All right. A lot of you knew your kickers from the 90s. Who was the first one? Oh, wow. We got a lot of Morton Andersons on here. Entertainment, Andre Rison. Anderson Harlan was the first New Orleans Saints kicker. Harlan with a point. And you now move. You have 5 now, Harlan. Moving on up. Right behind Dan. Moving out of a tie. Harlan. Okay. All right. We're going to baseball. Modern baseball. Uncle Rich, you missed just a quick recap for Uncle Rich. You missed Ty Cobb. Neil Anderson, Alana Miles, singer of Black Velvet, James Wood, General Norman Schwarzkopf, Antonio McDice. NASCAR legend Ernie Irvan. Rugged Ronnie Garvin. And kicker Morton Anderson. But Uncle Rich, don't worry. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards left. And we go to modern baseball. Modern baseball. Here we go. Modern baseball, Baltimore Orioles. This is a tough one unless you've been sorting some recent Topps baseball cards. It is not Gunnar Henderson. It's not Heston Kierstad. It is not Ryan Mountcastle. It's not Adley Rutschman. It's not Cedric Mullins. It's not Mickey Tettleton. It is Kyle Stowers. Yes. Porter with another point. Rookie Kyle Stowers. Porter with the point. Where are we at? Porter, another point for you today. That's 5. So you are now tied with Harlan. All right. There, ahead of Matt. Porter moves up the scoreboard. Okay. Now we're doing basketball again. So we got 4 left. We got basketball, wrestling, baseball, football. All right. This is vintage. Well, it's a modern card, but a vintage player. Boston Celtics. Who knows their Boston Celtics history? Oh, right off the bat, Max knew it. It is tiny Nate Archibald. Max got credit. We're gonna take his extra point away for misspelling Archibald. Nate Archibald, Max with the point. We had Shane knew it also. Uncle Rich knew it. Philly Joe. So we got quite a few that knew Nate Archibald. Max with the point, and he's at 29. All right, brace yourselves. We've got wrestling coming up. All right, next up, do you know your 1990 classic WWF wrestlers? Nobody guessed, but I'm pretty sure you're going to know this guy. I think we'll get some correct answers pretty quickly on this one. It is not the Junkyard Dog. It is not Hacksaw Jim Duggan. It is not Captain Underpants. It is not Anderson. It's not Clark either. It's not Hulk Hogan. I think you guys are just fucking with me at this point. Where's Dave Arnold? I know Dave knows this one. It is a wrestler. It's not Randy Savage or Andre the Giant. Come on, this is easier than Rugged Ronnie Garvin. Come on. Grinding for good. Grinding for good. Hillbilly. I'll take it. It's Hillbilly Jim, and we'll accept Hillbilly. Hillbilly Jim. Grinding for good. Let's see. Do you have a point yet? Grinding for good. I don't think so. Grinding for good on the board. We got 2 left. Baseball, football. So the national nightmare of pro wrestling on Name That Player has come to an end, and we go to baseball. Somebody said Dat Dude was first. I don't even see Dat Dude. Oh, shit. I missed some. Oh, man. I got to take that point away. I missed some. So grinding for good. You were not the first. All right. I got to go back and look. All right. So where are we at? Okay. It was not Junkyard Dog. It was not Hacksaw Jim Duggan. It was not Macho. Hillbilly Jim. Dat Dude from Duryea. I missed. Oh, Scotty Dubs, Dave Arnold, Shane Zager. I missed all of those comments. Those all came in at the same time. That was really weird initially because it was Captain Underpants and Macho Man. So I missed all of those. Huh. So that dude from Duryea, which I believe is your first point of this round, correct? It is. All right. So that dude from Guerrier. 1 point. All right. There we go. Got that settled. Let's see. Spam light. What kind of contest? I swear to rewind, and I was like reading off, like those there were like 10 comments that didn't even pop up until because they all came in. I'm looking at the timestamp here. Let's see. On my screen, initially I had Junkyard Dog, Hacksaw, and Macho came up, and then the rest of the comments, and then Captain Underpants from Spam Likely was the next comment at the time. So that was really bizarre, but everything came at once, so I think it just backed up the system or something. I don't know. Dan wants a Star Trek. No Star Trek. I don't think I have any Star Trek cards. Actually, I think I did have a small, like 10, like maybe a pack, and they were in the last non-sport box we did on the YouTube live sale. Which, by the way, we'll do another YouTube live sale probably second week of April. Porter says, "Welcome to the shit show." All right, baseball. I'll do a better job this time. Baseball. This is a tough one. Before I give pack you gave me was bricked. I'm sorry. The price was right. Let's see. It is not Marte. It is not McClendon. It is not Thomas. Not Jimmy Butler. It's not R. Kelly. It's not McCutcheon. It's not Johnson nor Harris. Not Sue Bird. It's not Colas. It's not the Claw. This is from 2020. Arizona Diamondbacks. A 2020 rookie. Let's see. Buxton. Brian says any wrong answer is racist. It's not Davis. It's not Henderson. It's not. Oh, hey, we got a correct answer. It is Domingo Leyba, flawed thinker. Yes, Domingo Leyba. All right, we got one left, and it's football. Flawed thinker with another point, and that puts you at 4, so you move up. And you are now tied with Matt with 4 points. Okay. Oh, shoot. Where did I? There we go. Domingo Leyba. All right. Football. This is going to be a fun one. Football. Kansas City Chiefs. This is going to throw some people off, but not enough people. It threw off a couple. It's not Steve Bono. It's not Dave Craig. It is Joe Montana. All right. Who was the first with something on it? Might just be ink from the printer. It is Joe Montana. Who was the first one to get it? I think we got it right off the bat. Flipping Sports Guy got it right off the bat. Joe Montana. Flipping Sports Guy. 1 point closer to Max, but Max, I think, got 2 points today. 29-22 at the top of the scoreboard. So we've got Max with 29, Flipping Sports Guy with 22, Joe Trotto at 9, Uncle Rich, Card Hobbyist. Dan moves up to 7. Harlan and Porter each with a point today, and they move up to 5 points. Matt Like has 4. along with the Flawed Thinker. Huddle Card Collection, Merle, That 70s Card Show, and Tom Gibson each have 3 points. Jordan Brown has 2, along with Philly Joe and Scotty Dubs. And then with 1 point each, we've got Mark Marinello, Christian, Brian Bourne, Diego, Michael Renicky, SoCal Guy 1967, Neil Cublin, Dak T-Mac Fan, Spam Likely, Dave Arnold, John Maybe with a point today, and Shane Zager got a point today. And so did that dude from Duryea. So there we go. Today was a fun one. That was enjoyable, except for the wrestling. Note to self, no more wrestling. I am impressed everyone knows names of wrestlers, but just can't pick them out of a lineup. Porter said thought it was too obvious to be Montana, so didn't answer. I thought the Kansas City Chiefs, and you can't get like, there's not like a facial profile. So I'm like, throw some people off. They might think Steve DeBerg or Steve Bono. You are welcome, Spam Likely. Have a great weekend. Mikey says, it's not Susan, it's Mikey. Thank you for putting up with me and my comments. Hey, every day. Thank you, Dan. Come see me tomorrow morning. Kane County Fairgrounds. I'm trying to get there early. I think I'm going to hit the road at 5. I think I'm going to try to be pulling out of my driveway at 5 a.m. tomorrow. And that puts me at the Kane County Fairgrounds at roughly 7:15, I think. Or actually, it might be right at 2 hours. Because there's not much traffic at 7 a.m. Even on Randall Road. Get those green lights. So should be there early tomorrow morning with all of my boxes. So come see me at the Kane County Fairgrounds tomorrow. So that means no Hobby Evolution tomorrow morning. We'll review the Kane County Fairgrounds show on Sunday morning. We'll go live one last time from this room on Monday morning. And then I fly out to spring training on Tuesday. Tentatively Thursday morning, I'll do a live from the hotel. And then just kind of depending on my schedule and all that, I'll try to do 2, maybe 3 live shows from spring training next week and the following week. I'm there from Tuesday through Wednesday. Hit the like button if you haven't already, says Porter. Thank you. Philly card shows this weekend. Alrighty, have fun if you're going to card shows. I think there's one up north this weekend. Mosinee, I think, is a card show. Of course, St. Charles, Philly. Is Nashville this weekend? That's like a huge show. That's like Dallas sized. I think that might be this weekend as well. We're in, and I've talked about this a lot. We're like in the season of card shows. There is just card shows. You're going to have it's like the spring has become like, and I don't know if it's always been like this, but it seems like there's more and more like large shows that just happen in March and April. And so it throws a wrench in things at times. And don't forget about Hobby Hotline tomorrow. Uncle Rich will be on. I'll have to catch that on replay. Max will be in Mosinee. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Because I've never been to Mosinee. I'm guessing it's Mosinee. So Max will be set up there. All righty. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Come see me tomorrow, Kane County Fairgrounds, St. Charles, Illinois. Hit the like button, subscribe, visit my eBay store. We'll see you Sunday morning. We'll review the card show. We'll call it 9 a.m. Sunday morning. So have a great weekend. See you tomorrow or Sunday.